Hello, hello, hello! I am Jen Cole. Welcome to A Motivated Mind with Jen Cole. I am Jen, and I'm so happy that you're here. This is a little bit loud. I am very gracious that you have returned. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit subscribe so you can be notified when, and the bell so that you can be notified when I upload more videos. So we have a lot going on. One, the 30-day giveaway. Upload a video 15 minutes or longer. Tag me and do hashtag relate. If you follow me on Instagram, screenshot that you're watching the video, and you can upload a picture on Instagram, and I will give you a shout out in a future video. So just a couple things going on. The gift card started out at $5. Now it's up to $11. So at the end of 30 days, I don't know how much it's going to be, but good luck to everybody that participates. I really hope you guys do join in on this. I really do. I think it will be fun. So if you have been following me on Facebook and Instagram and things like that, you know that I started the series called Secrets and Scars, because we most definitely all have secrets and scars. Some we want to talk about more than others, some we don't. And I'm going to get into some things that I normally talk about. Normally I talk about my substance past use and dealing with depression and things, but I'm going to tell you that depression is still something very real that I deal with day to day. It does not just, it's not like a switch, a light bulb that you just turn off and then all of a sudden all your sadness goes away. And these scars that we have inside come up a lot for me. These memories and things, and you guys know, if you've watched my video, I will try to upload that at the end so that you can click on it if you haven't seen it. It's called Triggers Are a Loaded Gun in Recovery, and it talks about how to deal with triggers. You know, it's not the object, the person, or the place. It's the emotion attached to that bring about whether or not it affects us, triggers our emotional reaction, response in some way or another. If you've never used drugs intravenously, a spoon will always just be a utensil. Once you've crossed over and you've done things that way and you use drugs that way, a spoon then becomes something from your sordid past that you wish not to think about. Same thing with a straw or a bottle. Ice clinking in a glass only means something different to those who have struggled with alcohol. Same thing with depression. Same thing with abuse. Some jokes are not funny to others because of the life and the things that they've had happen. And I have a pretty big sense of humor with things, but I get it. I really do. But I don't talk normally about the days that I deal with depression here, because I try to just use my coping skills and I try to just keep it moving. And honestly, when you are a parent, when you run a business, you know, I run the magazine, we are doing phenomenal with that. Thank you again to all of my amazing content contributors. They put their heart and soul into every single word. They really do. They are truly amazing. And we have now reached over 1,500 people for our email list. So that is something that I'm truly grateful for. That's only for the email. That's not to mention that our friends in Australia, they are reading us, and I'm just truly amazed and excited. But with all those things going on, being a mom and having the magazine and my planners and the Cole's Crown Publishing Company that I have, where I help people develop marketing skills and help them feel comfortable talking on camera and things like that, that does not give you a lot of time to just sit around and feel anything most days. But that doesn't mean that those feelings don't come. That does not mean that I don't have days. I am trying to get this volume adjusted for this music, and it's either really loud or not loud enough. And I really don't want my background music to be the DVD cartoon that they're watching in the other room. Which brings me to something else. someone asked me how much time I get set aside to do these, and I don't get special time. I sneak in time to do videos. Right now they're in the other room watching a movie, playing with their tablets, so I figured it would be a good day to try to do some content. So I just try to do it. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. The pause and record button truly is my best friend when I'm trying to do this. You know, a day in the life of somebody that battles with depression is like this. You wake up and you have these memories that just come out of nowhere, or you have this thought that just comes completely out of nowhere, and for some reason you just feel like something bad may happen, or you're dwelling on something that has happened. Telling somebody with depression or anxiety to cheer up, get over it, and move on is the exact opposite of what's going to help them. Just because somebody is telling you how they feel does not mean that they want you to fix it. Sometimes they're just telling you how they feel. And I feel that, and this is based on what I've been talking to people about recently, if you need me to be the one to give you permission to share your story and talk about what you've been through, then by all means do it. I don't share my personal struggles, my boys' personal struggles with things. That's their story, their book, their chapter. I talk openly and candidly about my struggles, but I'm not going to share a chapter in somebody else's book. That's their book to tell. But do not allow anybody to mute your voice. Do not allow anybody to tell you that someone's going to think differently of you because you want to talk about the things that you've been through. People think that because someone has been through certain things or they've chosen different paths, that it's going to somehow change the way people look at them. I had a completely different way that I wanted to do this video, but this is how I feel to do it. For me personally, if I'm going to battle with somebody, I want to go to battle with somebody that I know has been to war. I want to know what you've been through. I want to know that you've faced this enemy before. I want to know that you know how to defeat them, that you know how to fight back. I want to know what these scars are. Because we all have them. We all have those things in our life that we don't want people to know about. We all have those scars that we would rather not talk about. And those secrets in our mind, those things that we don't share with people, those thoughts that we think when we look in the mirror first thing in the morning, or those passing ideas that come into our mind when we're driving down the road, or when we're laying awake late at night and we're in the darkness alone, or just with the light of the TV, and we think about all the things that could go wrong, or the things that have gone wrong, and all the mistakes, and I wish I would have done things this way, or is this person mad at me? Should I have said things that way? And for some, these things never cross your mind. But if you are someone like me, then these things cross your mind a lot. Or you become hurt all over again, as if it just happened, and it's been a while since those things have happened. Writing for me is an outlet. Talking about these things for me is an outlet. But I will tell you, the very first time that I wrote about what my husband and I went through, as far as him dealing with my issues and me dealing with his, and his is not substance abuse, then I felt the pain and anger and sadness all over again, as if it had just happened. Because I need to remind myself that the scars I have of unforgiveness, the scars I have of hurt, guilt, and remorse, it is not like a switch. I have to remind myself that I have forgiven people. I have to remind myself that I'm not that person anymore. And I'm able to be proud of who I am today. I share with you guys a lot. Can't seem to get comfortable. I share with you guys a lot of the feedback that I get, you know, when people will say, thank you for sharing this video, and you see the comments on things, but that does not mean that I don't get messages that are not so nice. Some of the messages I get say things like, the way you talk about your drug use is as if you're not ashamed of it, or as if you are unremorseful, as if you've done nothing wrong, young lady. Well, I added the young lady part. But I do not walk around in shame. I walk around with the acknowledgement of what I've done, and I do take accountability that because of my actions, my kids have had consequences that they should not have. But I'm not going to walk around in shame. And once a person has hurt her children or his children, there is nothing that you can tell that person that's going to make them feel worse about themselves. Nothing. When you look into the eyes of your children and you know that you're the reason that they're hurting, that you're the reason that they're upset, that you're causing their consequences, that they're getting the consequences of your actions before you do, no amount of name calling or threatening or telling them bad things about themselves could outweigh what they're already telling themselves inside. It may not appear that way, but I promise you that's the truth. All these amazing things I have going on in my life today does not mean that I don't wake up some days and feel overwhelmingly sad and depressed, and like to the point to where I'm thinking that people around me would be better off without me. Just because I'm not using does not mean that I feel like a fantastic mother. Nick Mosley is an amazing person. She is not only to me, she is a sister to me. We are sisters by choice because we love each other regardless of anything. And she is an advisor to me. Not only on my magazine, not only is she part of the design team, but in life. And she can attest to the fact that I will call her and tell her that I am the worst mother in the world. That I have lost my patience with my autistic son and yelled at him. That I don't know what's going on today. That this is going on and that's going on. And she will say to me, "You are an amazing mom. Look how far you've come." But those are the secrets that I don't tell people all the time. And those secret feelings that I don't talk about come from the scars of the mistakes that I've made. A counselor put it to me like this, that we all start out as these amazing little trusting, loving, tiny people. My daughter, when she hears music, she puts her arms out and she becomes a flower child as she spins around and dances and twirls, and she loves everybody. I was once that little girl. But somewhere along the lines, people prove you wrong, that not everybody is nice. Somewhere along the lines, someone proves you wrong, that the golden rule does not always apply. Somewhere along the lines, you learn what hurt is. And you become not so loving, not so trusting. Somewhere along the lines, you begin to get scarred inside. And then you have these feelings and these secrets that you keep from yourself because you don't want to admit to yourself that you believe what they're telling you. I couldn't admit that I felt worthless. I couldn't admit that I felt that I deserved to be cheated on and hit and lied to and abused. But I allowed people to treat me that way because I believed it about myself to begin with. Those were my secrets that I kept from myself. When you focus on what could be, you don't see what is. They could be a good person if they stopped hitting me. They could be a good person if this was going on. But you're not seeing what is going on. And that's what happens a lot for people in an active addiction. They don't see what is. They see what was and how hurt they are because of what happened or what they want to happen. But they don't see what is. These scars that we have inside of us, these things that go on in our life that we don't want to talk about, create scar tissue inside of us. And then it's harder to get rid of. I've had multiple surgeries. I had my ovary removed when I was 14. And then I had multiple cysts removed from the one ovary I have. And then I've had scar tissue removed over and over again. Because surgeries and all of that, every time you get cut on, it creates scarred, tough, thick tissue around inside your body to protect you. So your mind and emotion will create this scarred tissue in front of your heart to protect yourself, because I will not be hurt again. I'm not going to let anybody in. I will spend the rest of my life alone before I allow another person to hurt me. And the secrets we